Hello YouTube and welcome to GrunfWorks. This is episode 43 of the Interplanetary Voyage of Exploration. And today we will be doing some interesting launches. And mainly I actually want to first load the Joule nuke probe and I want to build it. Only this time it will not be going to Joule. The idea for today is to take the Joule nuke probe and to take it actually to Sarnus. If you can observe, our Kerbin to Sarnus transfer is happening soon, and I figured since it's really extremely long time until the probe gets to Sarnus, I guess a couple of years, I really don't want to miss this window. And it has to be a nuke probe because obviously it's so far out that there is no theoretical possible way to actually get the solar panel. So this is like a little bit accelerated launch, and the purpose is to actually put it in the 100 kilometer parking orbit. And then, and where it will wait for the transfer to Sarnus. So, standard launch, a little bit steeper launch because there's lots of parts in there, so I don't want things to get flippy. Yes. And I'm showing this, I believe, in 3 times or 4 even times acceleration. I have decided to actually base a little bit my time acceleration also on my frame rate when I'm launching, and I had I think 6 frames per second when I was launching this one, so yeah, 4 times like 24 frames per second, so you guys get a decent frame rate when playing. So yes, can't wait for the 1.1. I'm really hoping it will improve the frame rate a little bit. But given the amount of mods I'm playing with, well, I think I will be stress testing that multi-threading that Unity 5.1 is kind of boasting with. Okay, that being said, expanding the solar panels. I mean, you have seen me launch already the Joule nuke probe, but still, I guess. Okay, and let's see. Gliding up until our maneuver bird. And we have 1100 meters per second. We're still using this, the mainsail here. I really have to get me some better rockets or rocket engines. I mean, the mainsail is awesome, and the Rhino is also equally awesome, which I'm using for some of my launches, but then again, I need more powerful ones to be able to boost bigger stuff up. And the next after that we have the Moho window, then Sarnus window, then Dres, and then finally Duna. And you will notice that I'm actually packing a lot of things for Duna, because for Duna I really plan to launch a whole flotilla of ships, as I highlighted in the previous episode. But then again, I really don't want to miss the other windows, so lots of launches, but that means later on we will have lots of windows and stuff coming up, because I really, like I said, want to play it as a Kerbal Space program, not Kerbal Space mission, so that I run one mission to Duna, and during all of that time, my Kerbals on Kerbin and everywhere else are kind of in hibernation. I simply figured it's a no-go. It's not not something that how I like to play it. So, that being said, we are coming up on our small correction burn, because I want it to be 130 by 130 orbit. And yes, 136 by 134, that's something I can live with, and I'm perfectly happy with it. Let us just check Kerbin to Sarnus, 135, plot it, and Okay. And just adding... Yeah, I think that's about right, actually. Injection progress, blah blah blah, great. Now. So yeah, Sarnus is only 28 days after the one that was being suggested by the Kerbal alarm clock, because the one that you see that has W, which means warp halted, means that I actually use it again with Kerbal alarm clock. So, okay, time to build something more. And since in the episode 40 we have been building a lander that we will be actually sending to Duna, I'm slightly concerned. I mean, I did pack it with a metric crap ton of food, but then again, I want to still send more ships to Duna, actually. And one of my mainstays in my older Reddit series of Interplanetary Voyage of Exploration, which is the first series I ever did for the KSP, I did exploration ships, and today I will be showing you how to build those. Those are multi-purpose ships, which our original mission is the drone carrier. So, and the secondary mission is the basis for a space station, because we will be putting an orbital station around Duna. That being said, the idea is, as you can see, I'm putting a lot of food and supplies for the Jeb to be able to survive. And I'm putting a lot of supplies, and I'm putting the docking ports. And the initial plan is that in these docking ports I will actually have a small satellites. So I will use also this vessel to build our satellite network around Duna. So that I would be able to use the probes, launch around there, etc, etc. So I'm thinking about putting Gigantors, but then again, I'm not sure. I mean, they're pretty hefty when it comes to how big they are. So I'm not really that big of a fan. They look cool, certainly, but I think I have ones that I actually like more, and I think it's these guys from Near Future Solar. I was thinking about these guys, which certainly are cool, but then again, they're very big, so they wouldn't be fitting under the fairing. And yes, I will be putting this under a big-ass fairing. So, 4 of them hopefully should be more than plentiful power generation. And now putting the Communitron, because don't forget, guys, this is a probe. I mean, it will be going there to Duna unmanned, meaning we really do need to have an ample of communication dishes. So, I'm also putting the RCS, because obviously we will need this thing to actually maneuver. So now I'm putting the SAS unit, and then RCS thrusters, which we'll put like 4 of them here, and then 4 of them somewhere else on top. So let's see, I'm just trying to balance it out somehow using the tech fuel balancer. Sorry, not tech fuel balancer, but RCS build aid. Yeah. Okay. It's in, and okay, now we need 3 Communitrons. 1 to communicate to each of our mid-range communication satellites. And I mean, normally when going to Duna it would be enough to take a single dish and point it to Kerbin, because the arc of coverage of this Communitron 8888 should be enough. However, en route there, the cone of coverage is not yet enough to cover my interplanetary satellites, so that is why I actually have 3 communication dishes pointing at 3 different satellites, and it's a good bet that one of those 3 satellites will always be on the horizon. So I'm kind of hoping I would be able to maintain a very high connectivity. I mean, the only risk is when we go behind Duna, and then there's not really much we can do. So now we're building the core ship, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna put the probes here, and actually, my first idea was actually to build probes on the spot here, but then again I figured it would be much better if I just build them as sub-assemblies and just attach them at a later stage. So I'm saving this one and creating a new one. And this new one will be our actual communication satellites that should be communicating, that should be our communications network around Duna. Okay, so that being said, the goal is to deploy 3 communication dishes, same thing as I did for Kerbin, only this time around Duna, but I will be building 4 because obviously we have 4 docking ports on the exploration ship, and I don't really want to be putting 3 satellites and have an asymmetric load on that big ass ship, so that's just a no-no. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm trying now to find some somewhat large solar array that should be sufficient to power this after ion thruster. Okay, and now just adding the rest of the stuff. So 2 communication dishes. I don't like them intersecting with my solar array, so I'm just putting another part, and yeah, this is much better that they're out of reach. So why 2? Well, redundancy, as simple as that. And then I'm putting again 2 of the short-range antennas, which will be pointing to Ike. So the idea is that I can launch my probes also around Ike. And yeah, I'm willing to take the chance that maybe around Ike I won't have the total connectivity, but then again I don't really care. And I'm using also the short-range communication dishes for the purpose when I deploy my communications network around Duna. I do want to maintain connectivity even if I'm on the ground, meaning like for an unmanned rover deployment or something. So, okay. Attaching now some batteries, because batteries we need, and I am going away from a design where I have a single big ass battery, because you saw what happened to our Eve probe. So I'm actually more inclined to have lots of batteries, and then if one of them goes bananas, we don't need to give a damn. So yes, and our thrust to weight is pretty low, but given the fact that these are just satellites, they don't need to do any interplanetary burns, it's good enough. So I'm actually pretty happy with the design. I just want to put some lights, because once again I really want our probes to actually have some nice lighting. And then again, turning. And I want to put 2 lights, 1 on each side. And I never put the symmetry because I want to put different colors of the lights. Yeah. So that's it. Pretty much everything. I do not think there's anything more that I need to add here. Oh, but actually, for fun's sake, let's just put some cameras. Why not? I mean, I'm pretty sure that the folks at the Kerbal Space Center will be really eager to get a view of the cameras. So, I mean, why the hell not? So let's put external cam 2, external cam 3, and external cam 1. Great, now we have 3 cameras on each of the probes. And we'll have total of 4 satellites. So let's just put it in. Oops, and not that. Why do I have a feeling they're not aligned now? Yeah. Let me just manually align them. Yes. I think that's better. Oh, Man, I have to be careful. Okay, now it's good. Okay, let's put this in the sub-assembly. Satellite Exploration Communication Satellite Medium Range Mark 1. Exploration Medium Range ComSat, so that to mark that this is going on the exploration ships. And now I'm loading the big ass exploration core that we have built. Now, total of 46 parts. That part count is about to go up significantly, which means my frame rate will be going down. It's kind of frustrating to have your frame rate go down when you have, and I am actually running a GTX NVIDIA 780, so my graphic card is more than capable of handling this load. So yeah, I know, and I know physics is the CPU bound, so it's the CPU that it is the bottleneck here. So yeah, as you can see, 4 communication probes attached radially. By the way, this is tried and true design of a communications probe. I did this a while back when I was doing my Reddit series. So strutting, because yeah, struts are very needed here. Okay, Mark 1 comms. And I'm saying Mark 1 comms because there will be probably Mark 2, like science or something. Maybe not for Duna though, we'll see. Just now rearranging the stacks. I just want to make sure that I have everything correctly placed. Fairings, I need a 3.5 expanded. But first I actually need to put the Communitron antenna, the short range one. How does this look like? Is it okay? Wow, it just might be okay. Awesome. Yeah, I usually prefer smaller. The smaller fairing, the better. Less problems with it. Okay. And we have to put now a big ass engine, so let's put Rhino. I'm really thinking once we start going to Sarnus and stuff, start launching these monstrosities around Sarnus, Urlum and other outer planets, we will really need to use nuclear engines, and I already had a design that's using nukes, and it had plenty of Delta V, so I'm kind of hoping everything will be okay. But then again, this is exciting. I mean, building new craft, and I'm opting here for actually asparagus staging, because just to have a better fuel efficiency. I was first thinking to just have a regular onion staging, but then again, asparagus staging gives me a better spread of Delta V throughout the... So, why the hell not? So, fixing my staging just... Yes, this and... that. Great. And then what do we need? Our SAS... RCS, just put a bunch of them to make sure that we have good control, and a little bit of fins, obviously. Struts, because we can. Some struts on top. Yeah, and I'm actually thinking I haven't strutted the payload to the... Yeah, that might be a pickle. So let's just put struts from bottom somewhere around here, just to hold everything in place. Yes, that's much better. Okay, checking my staging once again, and I'm thinking it might be time to do the simulation. So, let's see. Good takeoff, excellent thrust to weight from the beginning. might want to reduce a little bit thrust, because we don't want to be going too fast in the lower stages of the atmosphere, that we are fighting atmospheric drag. First booster separation successful. Cranking up the thrust. Looks good so far. Delta V in the 5000 range. For Duna it should be enough. And given the fact that this is Duna one way. So yeah, I'm pretty optimistic the way it looks at the moment. Let's see. I mean, I just want to test basic systems. So, basically getting to the atmosphere. And I'm sorry if I will be repeating these launches, but then it will be real launches. This one is just a simulation. So, I just want to see how much delta V I have left once I have actually circularized at the sufficient level. And at least I should have like at least 2,000 at least. And I think I will have more than that, but it's prudent always to check, especially with the complex craft like this, because yeah, if it goes bad, it will go really bad. So and that's probably the reason why I'll be launching 2 of them. Yeah, call me paranoid, but I mean, if both of them succeed, we will have 2 station cores, which we can always dock together, and that means we will have double the amount of food for poor old Jeb, who is going on a trip into the middle of nowhere. So, yeah. Okay. Just testing detaching, activation, and let's see. I want to test one of these probes, so let us decouple that one to see that everything is working properly. Okay. Yes, we have the Megalodor. And let us test the ion drive, and it seems to be working beautifully. Great. That means only one thing is missing. Some lighting. So I'm just gonna put, not just bother too much, just put some lighting in there, just to make sure that it's not too dark if we ever need to dock on the dark side of Duna or something. Yeah. With my luck, it's always like that, so might as well be careful about it. And I think like this will be fine. Yeah. Great. Let's build a vessel. And that being said, let's once again build the vessel. So, I'm building 2. Well, that's it for this episode. I hope you liked the episode. Press like if you liked the episode. And in the next episode we will be doing a bunch of launches, so yes, once again I'm just looking at our Moho window, maybe we'll launch something there. In the meantime, thank you very much guys for watching. This is GrunfWorks signing off.